Hello, people. How's it going? You having problems again? What is it? That helps. Well, it helps a little bit. It lights in my eyes, but can't do anything about it, people. I only have the only space I can do this in. I gotta figure out somewhere to do better lighting, but anyway. It is Veterans Day, so happy Veterans and happy Veterans Day. And thank you for all those who have served and died for their countries and this country. First of all, this book is this is probably one of the more about in the World War One, which is where we get Veterans Day for in the first place. This is a very good book. November 11th, 1918. The final hours pulsate with tension as every man in the trenches hopes to escape the melancholy distinction of being the last to die in World War One. The Allied generals knew the fighting would end precisely at 11 o'clock a.m. Yet in the final hours, they won men against an already beaten Germany. The result, 11,000 casualties suffered, more than during the D-Day invasion of Normandy. Why? Allied commanders wanted to punish the enemy to the very last moment, and career officers saw a fast-fading chance for glory and promotion. Yeah, World War I. And the egos in World War I are horrible. I went on the bad generalship, the waste of human life, and so on and so forth. Joseph E. Persisto, was the leader in the trenches for the forgotten and the famous. Among the latter, Adolf Hitler, of course, he is there. Captain Harry Truman, Colonels Douglas MacArthur, and General George C. Patton, Jr. Maidens for the fall with the ordinary soldiers' lives, illuminating their fate as the end approaches. Briscoe sets the last day of the war in historical context, with a gripping reprise of all that led up to it. From 1914 assassination of Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand, who ignored the war, to the raw racism black doughboys endure, except when ordered to advance and die in the war's final hour. Briscoe recounts the war's bloody climax in a French style that evokes all quiet on the Western Front, Grand Illusion, and Paths of Glory. I've seen two of those movies. The All Quiet on the Western Front, the original silent version, is excellent. Paths of Glory is good too. It is a very good Kurt Douglas film. Pointless fighting on the last day of the war is perfect metaphor for the last year, for the 4 years that preceded it. Years of senseless slaughter for hollow purposes. This book is sure to become the definitive history of the end of the conflict, which is called the hardest, cruelest, and least rewarding of all the wars that we have fought. And it was. World War I could have been avoided. Really could have been. This is a very good book. It's the best book I've read on the subject. There are probably better ones out there, but I've yet to find it. But he's a very good author. Very good author. I will just read from this series of I like this series of the Complete Idiots Guides. That sun is gonna drive me crazy. Let it go. I can't do anything about the sun, people. I've tried. I can't. I can't make the sun go away. I'm not that powerful. But I do want to read a few things. It's the casualty list of this war, which I think is very worth reading. Won't read all of it, but I'll read some of the good parts. Battle deaths from France, over 1 million. British Empire, 900,000. Russia, over 1 million. Italy, 462,000. United States, 50,000. Belgium, 13,000. Serbia, 45,000. Montenegro, 3,000. Romania, 335,000. Greece, 5,000. Sorry. Portugal, over 700,000. Japan, 300. Total deaths, combat deaths, I might add, is 4,888,891. not very good at math. But the Central Powers, that would be Germany, Austria, Hungary, Turkey, Bulgaria. Battle deaths, over 1 million Germans, 900,000 Austrian-Hungarians, 300,000 over 300,000 Turkey. Bulgaria, 75,000. Total deaths on that side. Grand totals, actually, it says. Over 8 million. I mean, civilian deaths in France were 40,000. British Empire, 30,000. Russia, 2 million. Belgium, 30,000. Serbia, 650,000. Romania, 275,000. Greece, 132,000. War-related civilian deaths, 3 million. Over 3 million. I mean, it was a bloody war, people. It was a war. It's a modern war fought with how shall I say this? With old tactics. They really were using old tactics still. I don't necessarily. How come the screen sometimes is nice and clear when I did it? It's got to be the sun. I've got to move the sun. The sun has got to go. I've got to get rid of the sun. The sun has got to be. I'll just have to do that. I mean, World War One was 4 years of slaughter. Trench warfare. I mean, yeah, it had its moments, and it had its heroes and its villains and this, that, and the other, but it really was a bloodbath. It really was a modern war fought with old tactics. It just war. Now, let's just throw men in trenches with machine guns firing at them. That makes sense. But anyway, I thought I would, at least, this is a good one. The entire series, you can see like that, can you? There you go. Interesting. It's got to be an angle I can do that to fix it. Anyway, I also want to talk about the fact that my grandfather, my English grandfather, by the way, English grandfather, my mother is English, fought the Battle of Britain, flew Spitfires. I really didn't get to know him very well. Unfortunately, we sort of started communicating a little late in his life. I really managed to send a few letters back and forth. I really wish I'd got to know him. I really do miss out not having known that part of my family. I mean, he was a hero. He was a veteran worth remembering. I wish I knew more about him. I believe also he flew night fighters too. But I know for a fact that he fought in the Battle of Britain. So that's something to be proud of, and something to honor, and to look up and about with pride. This next part is probably going to bother people, and I really don't care. Because Yogi was my friend, okay? I met him in my history group meetings in Minnesota. He was my friend. Yes, he was a German soldier during the Second World War. He fought on the Eastern Front. Let's see if I can find that piece of paper. There's a piece of paper. That's everything you need to know about Yogi. I can get the stupid thing to stop. It's right here. But anyway, he fought on the Western Front. On the Eastern Front, sorry. But I spent probably about over 10 years being around him and just getting to know this person. And yeah, he fought for the Germans, he fought for the invasion of Russia. I get all that, but to me, he will always be my friend. He'll always be that person I was honored to know. I grew to like. I thought very highly of him. I mean, he might have reached 100. He was pretty close to 100 the last time It's been a while. When the so-called pandemic hit, that's when we all pretty much the history group dissolved and disappeared, and we haven't seen each other since. The history group just never came back. But see if this helps. Does that help at all? know if that really can see it very well, but there we go. Figure out a way to. So I don't know why it's so glary because the sun is going down. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's hard to explain to people who actually went through all this why I am rather proud of the fact that I knew this man. Yeah, he fought for the wrong side. He fought for the losing side. I get all that. But I grew to like the guy. I got to know him. I got to know this enemy person, supposedly. I think him and my grandfather, I think, would have had interesting stories to tell. I mean, the Veterans Day, to me, should be a memory of people who fought for wars that a lot of them were forced to fight. I mean, they weren't all raging, what's. But I miss my grandfather. I wish I'd got to know him. I know I'm going back and forth, I know. But I do. I wish I got to know him. I wish I had gotten to know my grandfather. Got to understand what he must have gone through fighting in the Battle of Britain. I mean, all I have are movies and documentaries of the Battle of Britain. They're never going to show my grandfather. William Alderton. That was my grandfather. Yogi Push was my friend. I just find it very interesting that a Jew and an ex-German soldier is a friend. Oh, the world is a strange place. And I'm not redoing this thing. I don't know what it's got to be where I'm sitting. I can't. There's nothing I can do about where I'm sitting. I can't. I literally can't. Where I am sitting. The only place I can do this in videos, unfortunately. And I don't have the funds or the money to get better equipment. I can only do this on my computer screen. It is frustrating. I'm pretty sure people don't like the way it looks, and I do apologize for that. But I'm doing what I can with what I have, where I am. Do what you can with what you have, where you are. Teddy Roosevelt. And Teddy would not lie to me. But yes, look, I have very high. Look, I don't know what stuff he did in the war. He didn't tell me everything. This is his bio, by the way. He wrote this. But I'm honored to have known him. I like the guy. He was interesting. He used to tell me his war stories. He would tell me about how his hunting trips when he came here, prisoner of war stuff. And he was an interesting guy, which is why I really wish I'd got to know my grandfather. I mean, it's very depressing. It's depressing because you know what? I have a feeling we would have gotten along pretty well. I think he would have been told some pretty interesting things. So I really wish I had gotten to know him. I really wish that on some level, it just happened too late in his life. I don't know why it took me so long. It just did. I have no idea why. But it is Veterans Day, and we do have Veterans Day because of that. I mean, a little better. This is a good book. It's a very excellent book on the honest. And where Veterans Day came from. I mean, I will never understand people who don't appreciate what people who died for this country did. Whether they understand it or even if they believe in it completely, they did sacrifice for this country. This country where half of it doesn't appreciate it. I'm convinced of that. But that's just me. I mean, I don't know. I sometimes wonder if people even care about Veterans Day anymore. Whether they care about, and I say that because I don't think they care about history. I don't think they're interested anymore. I think they just are not interested anymore. I know. I keep thinking about why this. So some videos are clear, and this one isn't. And I'm not sure whether it's because of the sun or how much light is in here. I'm trying to. If I put too much light in here, then my shiny head comes up. Yes, my shiny, almost bald head. For a 61-year-old, I have lots of hair. But I mean, a lot of people died for this country. A lot of people, whether it was justified wars or not, they did go and fight and they did try to do what they were supposed to do. Not all of them. Not all wars are fought with saints, and not all wars are fought with devils. Somewhere in the middle. But I don't know whether people really appreciate Veterans Day. But they'll watch the war movies, which is fine. Funny thing is, I can't watch World War II movies anymore the same way I used to before I met you. I'm constantly telling myself I knew a German soldier and they were not all like that. But I do miss Yogi. He was fun. He loved his westerns, that's for sure. He loved his western novels. He would ask me every once in a while when he's reading one to explain a word to him. Didn't understand what the word was. I miss that. That's the kind of friendship I miss. I wish I had been friends with my grandfather. It would have been nice. But yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out something. It's writing this. I literally, if you saw the space I'm sitting in right now, it looks bigger than it actually is on the screen. It's actually smaller. The space is actually smaller than what you're looking at. I'm trying. Hopefully it's not too distracting. It probably is. Hopefully it's not too distracting. It might be. Oh, it's gotta be late. I keep interrupting myself when I shouldn't. Anyway. Happy Veterans Day. Think of that. Be appreciative of what they've done and what they did. They've done a lot more than most people ever do. But anyway, like, share, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Behave yourselves, people. I'm not